Hello and a very warm welcome to the programme. Eyewitnesses in northeast Nigeria have told the BBC that some of the schoolgirls kidnapped by Islamist militants a year ago have been spotted. The abduction of the 200 Chibok girls by Boko Haram sparked a worldwide campaign. It was known as Bring Back Our Girls. A video of them emerged a month after they were captured, but since then little has been known of their whereabouts. But now, people in northeast Nigeria say they saw some of the girls as recently as 3 weeks ago. Our Nigeria correspondent Will Ross reports.
Refusing to forget about the missing girls. Across the capital, they tied ribbons to symbolise the 219 students who are still being held. This is all we've seen of the girls from Chibok in the year since they were taken from their school dormitories at night. Even today, Chibok is still difficult to reach. The danger of a Boko Haram attack remains. The entire community has been traumatised by the abductions. For Pindar, the past year has been agony as she waits for news of her youngest daughter, Maimuna.
I know that she is alive and I will see her. Sometimes I go inside and arrange her clothes, believing that God will bring her back to me.
Her younger sister struggles every day with her loss.
I feel lonely whenever I see sisters walking together. I wish it was me and her.
Over the past year, there have been a lot of rumours, but very few facts about the Chibok schoolgirls. We've been speaking to people here in northeast Nigeria to build up a picture of what may have happened to them.
The girls were taken late at night on the 14th of April from the remote town of Chibok. They were loaded onto lorries and driven into the Sambisa forest. It's not clear if they were then split up into groups. An eyewitness told the BBC she saw a convoy of vehicles carrying many young women near the town of Gwoza. For months there were rumours of their whereabouts as Boko Haram captured more areas. But then as the military offensive took hold and territory was taken back, people fled with fresh news. An eyewitness met a large group of Chibok girls in Bita.
About a week after they were brought to the camp, one of us peeked through a window and asked, "Are you really the Chibok girls?" And they said yes. We believed them and didn't ask them again. They took Quranic lessons, cleaned their compound, cooked for themselves, and they braided each other's hair. They were treated differently.
Martha said they were moved from Bita in November. Boko Haram told her the girls were being taken to Gwoza. We spoke to an eyewitness, too afraid to be identified, who lived under Boko Haram for 8 months. Many girls were held in a house opposite her, and when she asked them, they told her they were some of the Chibok girls.
We just saw them being brought out of the house and taken away. We asked them what had happened, and they said the plane had dropped a bomb on them, and some of the sisters were injured and were being taken to the hospital.
That was almost 3 weeks ago. The army has since taken over Gwoza, and Boko Haram has fled. Sources have told the BBC that the jihadists headed into the Mandara Mountains and back into the Sambisa forest. It's not clear if any of the Chibok girls were taken with them.
The abduction of the Chibok schoolgirls really caught the world's attention. But since it happened exactly a year ago, many more hundreds of people have been seized by Boko Haram. And people here are desperate for news of their missing relatives.
To survive this conflict, it takes extraordinary levels of resilience. Countless families have been torn apart and have no idea if they'll ever be reunited. Will Ross, BBC News, northeast Nigeria.
Well, Malam Garba Shehu is the spokesman from the APC party, which won the election in Nigeria last month. He's just been telling us how the incoming President Muhammadu Buhari plans to bring back the missing girls.
General Muhammadu Buhari, the incoming president of Nigeria, shares in the agony and the pain of the parents and the Nigerians, in fact the international community, who have shown so much concern for these girls who have been taken out and the many more who have gone away. Now, as it is now, General Buhari wants to address the issue in a way that is honest, forthright and straightforward. We don't even know where these girls are. We don't even know whether they are alive or they've been taken away or they've been lost. So the first thing he intends to do is, when he gets to into the office, he wants to listen to the military commanders and to the intelligence community, whatever intelligence that is available, including that which has been collected by friendly countries.
Malam Garba Shehu there. Well, let's talk to Ramaa Mosley, who's an activist and filmmaker who was instrumental in promoting the Bring Back Our Girls social media campaign across the United States. She joins me now from Los Angeles. Thanks so much for being with us. Does what you saw in our correspondent Will Ross's report give you new hope for the Chibok Girls?
Absolutely. I really believe that the president-elect will now put all his focus on this issue, and he will make great strides to bringing home the girls. That is my hope, and that is all of our hope.
Does that mean that you believe it was a lack of political will by the previous government that failed to bring them home?
Well, you know, from my understanding, it wasn't until June that even the girls who had escaped were even interviewed by the military or by any police or by the government. So that means that over 4 months went by since they had been escaped before they were even contacted. And in a kidnapping situation, we all know that time is of the essence. So it makes me really wonder about the ability of the former government to have solved this situation. It seemed that their focus was not on it.
The campaign, nevertheless, hasn't brought them home after all this time. I mean, has the rest of the world largely forgotten about the girls, do you think?
Well, we all know that our attention span is very short, and that as new media comes up, that we turn towards it. But no one in the group has forgotten. There hasn't been a day that goes by that I don't work on this campaign. And every single advocate in the Bring Back Our Girls movement has spent and devoted their year to focusing on the girls. And we very much believe and have hope that we will be able to see them home and safe.
It does show, though, as you say, that people's attention span is very short, and even though it was trending worldwide on social media like Twitter for several days, that's 1 week. The next week it's just disappeared, hasn't it?
Yes, well, I guess the question is this entertainment to people, or do they understand that these are lives? So if we're watching media as entertainment, then of course in a moment we've forgotten. But if this is affecting us as human beings, and if we care about educating girls around the world, and we understand that the education of girls is absolutely imperative to the health of our whole world, then we will keep our attention on this issue, even as the media might change their attention.
And of course, it isn't just the Chibok girls. Many people are abducted all the time in this part of Nigeria, aren't they?
They are. It's a very unstable part of the country in northern Nigeria, and my hope is that the new government will come in and build the infrastructure to really allow for safety and security, and allow for the proper roads to be built, electricity, and the schools to be built, and allow girls and boys to come back and be educated in a very safe environment.